Hi, how you guys doing today? This is Rich from Rich TV Live, and I'm here with a very special guest. It is Amanda from Indonesia. How you doing today, Amanda?
Fabulous. Happy Saturday again.
Happy
Yeah.
Happy Sunday morning to you.
Oh, right. It's Sunday morning. I missed a day. That happens here. Oops. Yeah. I thought it was Saturday. No, it's Sunday. See? Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So there's been so much crazy stuff going on in the markets. This last month has been a roller coaster ride of
Yeah.
emotions for lots of different reasons. Not just the fact that Trump and the entire world right now is kind of waiting on Trump and China putting together this some type of handshake to get rid of all these tariff issues and all this threats back and forth. It's kind of interesting what's going on there, and obviously that's creating a lot of fear in the markets. But in addition to that, there's the cannabis stocks, which had a crazy, crazy, crazy start to 2019. January was nuts, huge explosion after months of downward momentum. And it seems as though it kind of peaked in January, and then it kind of went up a little bit more in February, a little bit more in March, but it didn't really go up like it did in January. And we've seen a regression over the last couple of months, especially with a lot of stocks in the cannabis sector, and not just the cannabis sector, the whole world of stocks, really. There's been somewhat of a regression. And now it seems like at the end of June, we are starting to have a resurrection. Do you agree with that synopsis? What do you think?
Yeah, I totally do. As you know, I just got back into trading again just a few weeks ago. So I've been watching my favorites so closely, and yeah, like I hit some lows on quite a few that I was looking to get into this week. So I was stoked about that. And they've already started to take off. So started to see some money roll in already, which I mean, how often can you say I just got back in and I made some cash? Like it's kind of cool. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. It feels like we're riding up. I don't know why though. That's the thing. So it's kind of, you know,
Well, I think it's simple, right? Like when you see stocks have 52-week highs, that's the time to do what, Amanda?
get the hell out.
Right? And then when
Right?
you see stocks hitting 52-week lows, that's the time to do what, Amanda?
Sink it in.
So
So
we're not the
pretty
only one
simple.
we're not the only ones thinking this. The smartest guys in the world are thinking this. The
Hmm?
biggest traders in the world are thinking this. The biggest institutions in the world are thinking this. The biggest hedge funds in the world are thinking this. Even the short traders are thinking this. So they're covering their shorts now. They're saying, okay, like, you know how longers are thinking, okay, at the very top, we're getting out. Shorters are thinking at the very bottom, we got to get out, cover our shorts, make our money, wait for another huge resurrection because it always comes, and then we short it again. So it's just a game. It's really like a cat and mouse game. And I feel like we have to start really recognizing these patterns because it keeps happening over and over and over again. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like this is our time now. Like, this is our
It
time.
is.
Like, we've seen it over and over again. We know what's going to come. We've seen it for 2.5 years. We know what's coming. We got edibles legalization coming October 17, 2019. We're like, what, 3.5 months away from edibles
You know,
legalization?
that'll be my birthday here, by the way, just like legalization last year. Because you know I'm a day ahead, right?
You
So
got the
it's
best
like,
birthday, man.
it's the 18th here and it'll be my birthday. So last year I was just like, and this year will be the same. I'm so stoked. Yeah.
And I just have a feeling that with that as a catalyst, the fact that we've seen the entire sector get beaten up and everything's pretty much close to a 52-week low, these companies, see, we have to remember, okay, these companies, we're just the investors. Put yourself in the shoes of the company. These companies have shareholders, investors, institutions involved. They got a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah.
They can't just let the stock go to nothing.
No. Because then we're out. And then where's your cash going to come from?
Exactly.
Because
Now, some of them don't care, and those are the shit companies, right? Like, those are the ones that really we shouldn't invest in anyways. Like, the ones that don't care about shareholder value and creating shareholder equity, we shouldn't be investing in them anyways. So I think we're getting better at determining which are the ones that really care.
Mhm.
And the ones that don't care, why should we care about them?
Exactly, and that's where the dating comes in, right? Is that not just like dating? You
Absolutely.
don't care about me, get the heck out of my life. And I mean, last year we put, well, I know you dabbled a bit, and like I told you, I FOMO hard, and I got in the little ones, and they were sketch, they were stressful. I like my life not being stressful. Like I look at the stocks of the ones that are tried and true good companies, and I know that I can double my money next month or the month after. Like you don't have to be in a hurry. You can put your money in and wait a few days. You don't have to be on it like all day every day. And it's so much chill.
Let's
There's
just
no
let's just say
tension.
hi to some of the people in the room here. We got some people joining us. How
Oh,
you doing, Levon? Marshall Mullins, how are you? And Chris, how you doing, Chris? Mark Pepper, how are you? The one and only Doug Whitaker, how are you, Doug? Scott Norris, how you doing? Thank you guys for joining us on your Saturday or Sunday, wherever you are in the world, morning, afternoon, evening. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. And for those of you that are in Canada, have a happy long weekend. Hope you guys are
happy
enjoying
Canada Day.
this.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day to all the Canadians that are watching. We're actually having a beautiful day here in Vancouver. I know that it's a beautiful day there in Indonesia.
Oh yeah,
And
pool view. What the epic pool view?
yeah, let's see the pool. Woo.
Um,
That's nice, man. I want to jump in right now.
1987 today.
That looks
Yeah.
sweet.
So
That looks like a really nice oasis. I'm not gonna lie. You're lucky to be living there.
it is. I feel good here. It's private and quiet and peaceful. And yeah, you can't beat it. Like I told you yesterday, it was just like full on Saturday chill. Had a friend here, we just relaxed, had girl talk, had an epic massage. 2 hours later, I couldn't even get out of my bed. So yeah, it was a really good Saturday. No, self care 101. That's it. That rules.
I
But
love
yeah.
massages. If the one thing, like one day when I hit all my financial goals, I honestly want to do like a daily massage, like every
Let's
day.
be neighbors. Get your ass over here. We'll be neighbors. Cause
Well, in Indonesia it's $20. I like that price. I like
two
that
hours.
price.
I give him lots of business, right? So I always like, cause he drives an hour to get to my house.
Ten
So
bucks
I'll
an
always
hour?
say, yeah, he drives an
Oh,
hour to get here. Like
oh.
he's such a legend, and so I always try to make it so that like I have a friend around that wants one as well. So just to make it kind of worth his while. And yeah, and usually it's an hour. Yesterday it was like 2 hours. I was just in complete heaven. I'm like, this can't even be real. I got out of bed, I looked in the mirror, and I was like a disaster.
You know, I have this big problem when I take massages or I get massages. I always fall asleep. Like
Oh yeah, I was like
always.
really close, but he was like chatty Cathy, so I wasn't gonna sleep. I was like, this guy was amazing, this is just pure bliss. Can't get better than that.
I'm telling you, every time I get a massage, I fall asleep, and then I wake up, and then the way I wake up, they're like slapping me. They're like,
Yeah,
wake up, and I'm like drooling, kind of. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, and I'm like, it's over. It's only like 5 minutes. They're like, no, we've been doing this for an hour. I'm like, look at the time. I'm like, oh damn.
yeah,
I just
it's the best.
KO. I KO every time I get a massage. I KO.
But it's usually strong though, so like there's some painful moments that you're just like, pretend I'm not dying right now. So that keeps you awake. But honestly, I feel like $1 million today.
Oh, I
If I
bet.
wasn't easy, I'd run a marathon, but I'm kind of lazy, so that's not happening.
Now some of the members are giving us some picks. How you doing, Rui? How you doing, Big Zini? How you doing, Trey? How you doing, Ken? So let's go through some of the picks here. So Rui is asking, is Xena still a good buy right now at the current price? I'll let you answer that first.
Okay, well, I slept through the markets Friday night because it's Friday night for me, and I was exhausted at the end of the week. So I slept through. I knew it was going up, so I slept comfortably. Normally, I would have been kicking my butt because I didn't sell because I had a nice gain, but that Langley license hasn't come out yet. So I think we still have room this week for a little bit of movement, but I think it's still kind of late. It might not have a huge bump. Like we got a pretty good bump. So you got to follow the rules, right? Like buy the rumors, sell the news. So tricky.
I personally
Okay.
think this is just the start for Zenabis. If you look at the entire sector, you'll see Zenabis is one of the most highly beat up stocks in the whole cannabis sector in 2019. I think at one point it was down like 80%. Um, yeah, it's going higher, guys. I'm sorry. It's going way higher. GMP Securities.
Gonna move a little bit more in the summer. Like I think it's
I
still
don't think
fun.
so.
I-
I don't think so, Amanda. I mean, I'm just giving you my opinion. I might be wrong. I mean, yeah, it could go down. I hope it does because I want to buy some more. And I want to buy it cheap, but I don't think I will. I have a feeling I'm going to be buying it on the up because GMP Securities just gave them a buy rating. GMP Securities just gave them a price target of 325. Their KGs every month are growing. Their capacity space every month is growing. Their partnerships every month are growing. The news every month is growing. The amount of people that are learning about Zenabis every day is growing. Zenabis is still an unproven commodity. Nobody really knows anything about it. And it's still under $2. However, if you read the 25-page article by GMP Securities, they are essentially saying that the only two companies that have more production capacity in the entire cannabis sector are Aurora Cannabis and Canopy Growth. Now look at the prices of Aurora Cannabis and Canopy Growth. Aurora Cannabis, around $10. Canopy Growth at $50. Zenabis under 2. Zenabis share structure is less than Canopy Growth. It's 5 times less than Aurora Cannabis. Strong management team, incredible background. The only issue is that they have an overhang because they had to raise $25 million to convert their greenhouse space, which is some of the largest greenhouse space in North America, from propagation of flowers and vegetables to cannabis. And unfortunately, when they did that, they did it under some not so friendly terms. And what GMP Securities is essentially saying is that, which I really like, is that they're going to refinance and eliminate all of their debt under new terms. So GMP Securities knows something.
Mhm. Yeah,
My guess, which I've seen with some of the bigger companies, is they're going to probably get a loan from like a BMO, which seems to be a major player in these cannabis sector right now. I think maybe a BMO steps in and gives them 75 million at like a 5% interest rate, 5 to 8% interest rate. And Zenabis then takes that money, buys out all the toxic debt, has enough money now to convert all of their grow space into cannabis space. And now they no longer have any toxic, dilutive sellers in their stock. And they've got a interest rate that they can now pay on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis, out of the revenues that they're generating, which last quarter was 11.6 million. So their revenue is starting to grow. So as the revenue starts to grow, they now pay down that loan. Over time, they pay the entire loan off in full. Now they've got a bank partner, which they can now go back to at some point and say, hey, now we need another 100 million, 200 million, and then they're off to the races. We've seen this already with bigger companies like Kronos Group, Canopy Growth, Aurora Cannabis, Village Farms, CanTrust. This is the direction the bigger companies are going. I believe this is the direction that we're going to see Zenabis go. Now, don't get me wrong. It could go back down. What goes up can definitely go back down. I just don't think we're going to see like 140 or lower like we did like at the beginning of
yeah,
the
I don't think so either.
last
I
week
can't
or
see
so,
that.
right? But it could happen. And as investors, if it does, I honestly, truly believe that's nothing more than an amazing buying opportunity. So I don't think there will be a reason to panic if that happens. I will actually be buying more. So
Yeah.
that's my opinion on Zenabis. I hope I'm right. I hope for you guys that are watching that we continue to win on Zenabis. I know a lot of members were selling yesterday. A lot of members have been winning. A lot of members are really excited about Zenabis. And I truly believe this is just the beginning for Zenabis. And GMP Securities also said that their 325 price target is just their initial price target, and they will readjust the price target as the company matures and they truly believe that they've got a straight path to $3.25, which is pretty exciting considering that our $1.88 right now.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And I mean, we've been up to $6 on them. So, yeah, I don't really see that that's going to be an issue at all. I'm hoping there's like that people are going to take some profits that I could buy a little bit more at maybe a 10% dip. That's what I'm kind of banking on. But because I want more, I'm hungry for more. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I see Joe said, "What about MedMen?" Position secured. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love my MedMen.
Yeah,
I love
MedMen.
MedMen since the beginning.
Yeah, we've been talking about MedMen for a long time. And you know
Yeah.
what happens with stocks when they go down? Just like Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin went all the way down, everyone's like, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash, it's trash. And then Bitcoin explodes. Now everyone's like, it's gold, it's gold, it's gold,
Yeah.
it's gold, it's gold. See how fast everybody changes their tune?
Like there's so many people who trade and they're basing their stuff on just news and what other people are saying. And I think if you just look at your companies, like you say too, fundamentals, patterns, like research your company and you'll decide for yourself whether you believe in them or not. And then the news is just a money making opportunity, really. And
Absolutely.
then when people are talking smack, you buy a little more. So I like MedMen. I'm not going anywhere. But I'm back.
Amanda, can trust.
Love contracts.
Yes, me too.
I love.
Love
I've
can
always.
trust. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't like, you heard that they're moving into the US, right?
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
is,
As with so many others.
that is such a
But
game changer.
yeah,
You're
huge
never
difference.
going to be that big in Canada alone because Health Canada's rules and guidelines are so stringent. When I went to Zenabis's facilities, you won't believe how like tight these guys are. They got fingerprint entry into their cannabis rooms. I got to put on full like aprons, garbs covering my shoes, my hair, like gloves, like
Good.
they've got a vault, they've got security guards, gates, like cameras everywhere, like it's
They're
crazy.
not product though, right? So of course they're going to protect it, which is super cool.
But Health Canada is making it really difficult for these Canadian companies.
Yeah, I know.
America is always been a lot less conservative than Canada. Okay? I mean, look at it now. It's not even federally legal yet, but there's tons of business already being done in America on a state level.
I remember Anthony. I think it was last summer. Anthony was saying in Times Square in New York. Did you remember Elixinol? And there was like this big billboard, and they were advertising everything in Times Square. And I'm like, oh, hello. You know, they started doing that a year ago when it was kind of just in the beginning. So yeah, they're gonna be able to. There's gonna be okay. Here in Indonesia, smoking is still a big like in Asia. People still smoke. There's billboards like like the sexy woman smoking a cigarette. There's like Marlboro billboards all over Indo and Bali too. It's so crazy. I think cannabis is going to be like that in the U.S.
Oh,
Maybe.
I heard yesterday from one of our members that MedMen is advertising on the radio.
Ah, perfect. See, point done.
Okay, what do you think about Hexo?
Love that. So, I'm just waiting. I want it to come down a bit more. So, watching, waiting. I'm hoping it comes down to my entry. It better, but it looks like it's starting to come there. So,
I
yeah.
think it hit the bottom. It had a crazy fall in the $6 range. It went
Yeah.
from $10 down to 6, so it was down 40%.
Yeah.
Now it's back to 7.
Cheap.
Now it's back to $7.
No. I was hoping for like around between 6 and 7, but as you know, I missed my boat on Ray. I have to learn to give a little this year because everything is expanding and ramping. So I'll get that. Our momentum is moving up. Like patterns are there, but they do change. It's just hard to accept that sometimes when you're cheap like me.
So yeah, we both love Hexo. I say Hexo goes back to $10. I say Cantress goes back to $10. Now, when I say that, I think they'll go beyond $10. However, when momentum is up, they're gonna go break through that $10 barrier, no problem. But when the momentum goes down, they're gonna come back down to $6, $7. This is just the market, guys. This is the market we're in. Okay, it's highly volatile and extremely risky. And I truly believe it's going to stay this way for a while because When you see Jim Cramer come on CNBC and go on Mad Money and people ask him about cannabis stocks, he scratches his head. He's confused. And you
I've
see
been
what?
watching that.
He's one of the best investors, right? And he's scratching his head. And he's saying that this entire sector is really heavily hyped. But he goes, but it's hyped for good reason. It's a booming sector. It's growing every year. So a lot of these stocks are they're priced the future prices are priced in already. This is why they're priced at 40 times revenue, 60 times revenue. Now, Zenabis, one of the things that GMP Securities talked about is they're trading at 7 times earnings, 7 times EBITDA, okay? So they're still undervalued compared to their peers, which are typically trading around 40x on average. Most cannabis stocks are trading 40 to 60 times EBITDA, okay, on average. Zenabis is only trading at 7x EBITDA. That's another reason why GMP Securities really believes in Zenabis. So there's a lot of companies out there that are really good. They're going to go up and they're going to come down because this industry is trading on fundamentals that are not normal based on what Wall Street expects based on earnings. So there's a lot of volatility, which can make us a lot of money, but it can also lose you a lot of money if you're buying high. So you got to be smart. We all got to get better at trading, and we got to be really, really smart at buying when things are at the 52-week lows and selling at 52-week highs. Now, another question here, Amanda, towards you is, Amanda, are you still a fan of Harvest One? I'm pretty sure you mentioned them once, and they've had a good week, actually. So what do you think about Harvest
No,
One?
no. I sold them last. I think we hit about what was it like 89 cents. Um, and I was bag holding that. Like I think I held that bag for like 3 months, and there was just no movement. So we hit 89. I made a little money, and I was like, nah. So I'm out. Like I said, I'm trying to stick to my tried and trues, like the ones that I've consistently made money on in the last couple of years, and I'm just playing with those. That was just like a little. It was a FOMO play, and it did all right, but I held it for a while. So no, it's not one of my tried and trues anymore. The only one that I have that's still a, like under $1. No, two. There's only two that I still like that are under $1, and that's Sproutly. I watch Sproutly like hawk because I think it's gonna have a little explosion. I just don't know when, so I'm watching it. And Boss. Remember last week when we talked? I was like, I'm gonna get in Boss this week. Made some money.
Nice. Very
So
good.
yeah, I'm back out, but still, it was fun. It happens.
Good work. Big Zini is saying Visa and MasterCard, excellent long plays. I agree with you, Big Zini. I actually put them both as two of my top picks for July 2019. And the reason is like we all have, I got Visas and MasterCards, multiple of both. So if you're like me and you use Visa and MasterCard for purchases so you can get free travel, I'm sure you do too. People are going to keep using Visa and MasterCard. People are going to keep getting into debt. People are going to keep using their credit. Household debt in Canada keeps getting higher. That's a good sign for Visa and MasterCard. So, yeah, I don't see Visa and MasterCard going anywhere but higher. And if you look at their charts, they're literally like this. There's been like, they both have like one drop and then they came right back up. I mean, even if they go down, if you're willing to wait, they're going to go back up.
Yeah, those are good long-term investments. I have some companies that I'm like long-term invested in, but they're not my trading companies. So I think for those, not so great for trading so much, but investing, absolutely.
Okay, great. Chris is saying, Rich, you need to go to Thailand too. I need to come to Indonesia and I need to go to Thailand. Maybe one day when I come visit Amanda in Indonesia and we make some videos from your beautiful villa, then we can even go and take a look at Thailand.
Absolutely. All of Southeast Asia is just, to me, the most beautiful place in the world. I live in Bali because I just love the culture and it's different than anywhere. But like Thailand, Philippines, even Malaysia, all like, well, then you have like French Polynesia isn't far. So that's like Fiji, Tahiti. Like that's the zone here. Like it's just probably some of the most beautiful islands in the world. So even Vietnam is fab. Yeah.
So one of the questions here is, hi Amanda, Thailand or Indonesia?
Indo. all the way.
Okay, very
Mhm.
good, very good. Um, Big Zini says the Blaze Capital dickhead keeps talking all high and mighty about BAM. It's been funny watching that one slide. Yeah, it's
Real.
funny. I actually read the BAM's financials and they were pretty brutal. And I'll be honest with you guys, you shouldn't listen to people pumping stocks. Read the financials and you'll see why they're coming down. The company's actually in financial hardship. And that's typically why companies go down, because market makers, they look at the financials, guys. They don't look at the hype. They look at the
Mhm.
financials. And when you see a stock that went from 60 cents to 350 back to a dollar, and then you read the financials, you can see why.
Yeah.
Not to say that BAM won't be a good company in the future. They're currently working with Aurora Cannabis, obviously, so they have a lot of potential. And they're investing in AUSA. But the problem is when your financials are weak and you're only generating 1 million a quarter. 1 million a quarter doesn't even justify a dollar share price. It doesn't. So if you really look at real fundamentals, you got to ask yourself, is it undervalued or is it overvalued? And the reality is when you see a company like Zenabis making 11.6 million a quarter, and then you see a company like BAM making 1 million a quarter, and they're
Mhm.
trading around the same price, which one would you rather buy?
Well, and the point is that Zenabis has so much more room for growth. Like they're only making that now, but they're going to be like they're locked and loaded. So
Exactly.
don't like playing. Like look at how everybody was all. Do you remember SHMP? Look how many people lost their shirts on that. Like that's again the whole risk about pennies. You're not going to stay in those. Those are like 1 day deals. Like that's why they're called pump and dump. So nah.
Oh, okay, you guys are getting a lot of messages here. Wow. Holy moly. I can't even keep up with
No, I
this.
don't know huge, Dylan. I don't. I wrote huge in the beginning. I was in, I think, like 2 days into IPO. Like, oh, my average was under 0.16 for a long time. And I wrote it up and I got the hell out and I stayed out as since like December of last year. Nah, not touching it. Not for a long time. Maybe someday, but not that day is not in my horizon.
We got a lot of people joining here. Look at this. I'm trying to keep up with these messages. There's so many. Holy moly. I'm
Okay,
sorry, guys.
take
I'm
advantage
behind
of
here.
them.
Trying to keep up here. Okay, so Scott Norris says, I sold 3,500 shares of Zenabis Friday at 142 per share. I had a limit sell in the night before. I missed it by 5 cents. I paid 116 per share. Very good job, Scott Norris. It's at
Very
147 now. Very good.
That's US, by the way.
Um,
I was like, no, it's not. Yeah, yeah, I'm trading Canadian, so right.
Anthony Ortega is saying True Trace Technologies. True Trace Technologies just put a deal together with Zenabis. I like them. They had a good week. They've been up and down a little bit, but I think they have a lot of potential.
I have them on my research list, but I haven't gone into it.
Hey Dylan
Thanks.
Fraser, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Joe Cracker, how you doing? We were talking about MedMen earlier. We really like it. Um, Lils is saying, will the positive interaction at G20 help the stock market? Love your work, bro. I believe it will. I mean, anything that's positive in the global sector, as far as politics, I think will always help the entire stock market. And when the stock market is good, it helps the cannabis stock sector as well. But one thing I've learned and I've noticed this trend is when the cryptocurrency sector is really hot, typically the stock market is not. And when the stock market is hot, typically cryptocurrency is not. So that's something I think people should really look at. And the reason why I think you should look at it is that cryptocurrency trades 24 hours a day. So if you watch cryptocurrency, you can kind of get a gauge of how the market's going to do the next day. Because if the cryptocurrency market is down, then usually the stock market's up. So you can literally see right before the market opens if the cryptocurrency market is up or down. And it gives you kind of almost a gauge of what's going to happen in the stock market. I don't know why that's the case, but for some reason it
Well, I think
just is.
many people are playing both. So if you're going to take your money out of one, you're going to put it into another. You know, these guys aren't taking time off; they're just moving their money around. So I think it's an obvious factor to me. Hit that like button, homies. You got that right. Do it.
Levon says, do you know anything about Crop Rich? They just reported. You know what? I didn't look at the report. I've been watching Crop for a while. They've been a massive disappointment. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've really learned over the last little while that these stocks, once they get under $1, I'm calling it no man's land these days, because it seems like once they get under $1, it's really hard for them to get out of that place. I'm just tired of it. I don't even really want to deal with them under $1 anymore. So I'm kind of realizing that I think as an investor, all of us will do better if we're investing in the bigger stocks. And for whatever reason, once these guys get under $1, I don't know why, but they really have trouble coming back, and they rarely do come back. I mean, I've seen, look at Vivo, look at HIP, look at Oxley. Vivo has like so much money in the bank. So much money in the bank, and they're at 57 cents. They went up 9% on Friday, and they're still at 57 cents. It's mind-boggling. These guys have so much money in the bank. Oxley has $450 million in the bank.
I know, and they're investing in so many companies that have so much room to grow, but they're doing nothing. Like, I was such a big
81
fan
cents. 81 freaking cents with $450 million in the bank. And then you look at BAM, they got no money in the bank. They're making $1 million a quarter, and they're trading higher than Oxley?
Exactly.
How does it make any sense?
Because they're not caring about us.
Definitely.
Not caring about us, and that's nah, I'm out. I told you I sold Oxley at a loss, and I almost never do that. Like, I usually wait it out because I had so much faith in them that I just got tired and I wanted my money back, so took it.
Dylan Fraser is saying HARV going after MedMen rumored. That's big.
I didn't know that.
That's big. Okay, so HARV is a company that I broke first, Harvest Health and Recreation. I broke it at like $4. It went to like 14. I read a report that said that they have the ability to generate $900 million next year.
What?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What are they trading at?
Last time I looked, I think they were at like $8. So HARV has a great future. They're going to have enough money potentially to buy MedMen, and that could happen. I could totally see that happening. And if that happens, then we definitely need to consider HARV as one of the biggest players in America. They're already one of the biggest players in America. They acquired Vero, which is another monster. And if they acquire MedMen, the sky's the limit for HARV.
All right, I have to look into that one. My retailers that I'm into in the U.S. is just Kira and MedMen. Planet 13 has bored me too much, a lot. So yeah, Kira and MedMen are my only kind of guys that I'm into for that. But we'll see.
I love Kira. I love Kira. Scott Norris is saying Zenabis will probably go up because of the Langley license. I think it will for sure. That will be the largest facility in the world, 2.1 million square feet. The largest that's ever been licensed that I know of. So yeah, I see that happening. He then says, I think it will go back down after that. When it goes back down, I'm buying 5,000 shares. My buy price alert is set at 120. That's a good strategy. I don't know if it goes back down after that. I think after that license, it maybe just keeps going higher, but you never know.
I have a feeling our new resistance is going to be like in the 160s, maybe 170, but we'll see.
You guys keep asking us to talk about TRST and Huge. We talked about both. We like both.
MedMen for takeover. Yeah, for sure.
Mark Pepper says, I like Xena, Trust, and Hexo. I love all three of those, and I think you are in the right lane. You're in the right lane looking at those three.
Exactly. Those are my money makers.
Scott Norris says, MedMen has been advertising on the radio in San Diego for the past month.
That's in San Diego. Like, that's amazing.
Mark Pepper also says Labs. Okay, I love MediPharm Labs. I own MediPharm Labs. It is going to be, well, I believe it is right now the biggest extraction play out there They've got tons of revenue. They've just did a deal with Kronos Group, where Kronos Group is going to be buying 30 million a year to up to 50 million a year in business from labs. And that's an extra 7 to 12 million a quarter, and they're already making 22 million a quarter. So I see labs going way higher. They also have a deal with Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. They're testing.
Oh, huge. They're huge on research.
Yes,
Huge.
yes, and that's a huge hospital in New York. We're talking like enormous global hospital, and Mount Sinai Hospital is also here in Canada too. So I see the future for labs to be extraordinary. I think it's a company that will grow exponentially. The reason why they went down is that they did a financing, and as soon as they mentioned the financing, the stock went from like $6 down to $4. They're now back to 5. I believe it continues to climb from here, and I think we're going to see them climb back to $7 and beyond over the next few months as we start to see this resurrection. What do you think about that?
I agree. I agree 100%. I think anybody who's in, because you know, I worked in the healthcare sector for a long time, too long. But I think now that things, so before they couldn't research cannabis because it just wasn't ethically possible to pass research on cannabis. So now that we're legalizing, we can do this. So all this amazing research is going to come up. So I think any of these companies who are dabbling in research, they have heaps of money. It's the new pharma, you know? It's going to be the new next big pharma. And if you look at any of your big pharma stocks, you'll see the money that we potentially are going to make with that. I think cannabis is no different. They excite me.
Absolutely. Very good point here by Buy Low Sell High. He says, compare the gross margins on cannabis compared to Canopy. Between Zena and Canopy. He's saying it's ridiculous. I know that Zena has some of the lowest cost per gram production in the entire sector. The Langley facility will produce cannabis, are you ready for this? At 75 cents per gram.
And Canopy is?
I don't know. I don't have that in front of me. I just know that Canopy.
75 cents per gram is fab.
Oh. Well, their other facility, Zenabis' other facility in Delta is doing it at $1.10 per gram. So this new facility in Langley is going to be 35 cents cheaper than their other facility. I mean, if you're producing at 75 cents per gram and you're selling at even $4, you're making a killing. So, yeah, I think Zenabis is going to be an absolute giant. You know, I got destroyed by members by comparing Zenabis to Canopy Growth. And I'm telling you guys, I think there's a great comparison. I think that the share structure is the same. I think the management team is super strong. I think they run a very tight ship, similar to Canopy. And I think the growth potential is exponential. The only difference between Canopy and Zenabis is that Zenabis just did their RTO in January.
Right, they're just starting out.
They're just starting out. Yeah, they're just starting out.
Everything they're producing, that's like no question there. So.
And you got to remember this, okay? Canopy Growth, they're a combination, a coalition of a whole bunch of companies. Plus, they've got $1 billion partner that's funding them. Yeah. Zenabis is doing this all by themselves. They're one company with almost as much production capacity as Canopy Growth, and they're one company. They're also one of the only companies I've ever heard of that's received government grants from Health Canada. They're global, just like Canopy Growth. I see the sky the limit being with Zenabis, and I see one day where, yeah, they can rival Canopy Growth. You know, a lot of people don't realize, they talk about Canopy Growth like they're some big company, but Canopy Growth is from Smiths Falls, Ontario.
It's just because it was one of the first, so I think it's just received so much more media, and it's been 3 years now. I think it's 3 years now that we've been playing with Canopy. So, it's one of the first, and that's why people have it stuck in their head, That's what I think.
I'm telling you right now, there's going to be a day where Zenabis is on the same level of Canopy Growth. I'm calling it right now. I'm going to call it first before anybody else. Call me crazy, say whatever you want. I'm telling you, there's going to be a day where they're going to be on the same level of Canopy Growth. And there's a reason for it. Canopy Growth is spending money like a drunken sailor.
Oh, they are. That's why those revenues were let. And
they have to. Zenabis doesn't have to. Why? They're one company with huge growth capacity, and they don't need to go and buy more facilities. They don't need to go and acquire more licenses. Once they get that Zenabis license for Langley, they're as big as Aurora and Canopy overnight.
Exactly, and they're all over the country. So
And they're international. They're growing internationally as well. They're doing business in Europe. They're doing business with Shoppers Drug Mart. They're doing business in almost every province in the country. I'm not surprised one day when they start doing business in America, because they're obviously going to go to America too, like everybody else. They're not going to sleep on America. So a lot of people keep thinking that they're going to get bought out. Why would they get bought out when they have an opportunity to play on the same level playing field as Canopy and Aurora Cannabis? Why would they want to be bought out?
yeah,
They don't need to be bought out. The only thing they're lacking that Canopy Growth has is $1 billion partner. That's it. Who's to say they're not going to get one?
yeah, but they're making their own cash anyway. So I think they're going to grab.
Exactly.
When we talked about how much that they're able to produce, when you translated that to cash, especially at 75 cents a gram, like that's just going to be crazy. Crazy. And they're not going to have the same kind of losses. When they start reporting revenues, their losses are not even going to be near that. So we're just going to have really nice bumps.
Big Zini says Zena did a 4-for-1 split in 2015 too. Would be over 650 per share, and they will keep splitting over time. Wow, yeah, Visa is a freaking giant.
Visa is a giant, but that's because you live in the whole, like, that's Western society. Rob Peter to pay Paul, and Visa just happens to be Peter. So how it goes.
Loving your guys' messages. I'm just reading all your guys' messages.
Yeah.
I love you guys, man. You guys got my back, man. I love you guys in this chat, man. You can see the haters and trolls are rolling in. It's funny. It's funny watching the haters and trolls come in. I love it when our members battle the haters and trolls. I don't even want to battle or even mention the haters and trolls anymore. I'll let you guys do it. You guys go after the haters and trolls. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give some of you guys, some moderator status. Okay, here you go. And what I want you guys to do is don't listen to these haters and trolls, because I guarantee you they didn't lose any money. They're all liars. Okay, just get rid of them. Just get rid of them.
And people out there too who
just get rid of them.
Make money in stock market, and they take on jobs being pump and jumpers and trashing their stocks who are fabulous. I mean, where money comes from, so just shut these guys up.
Dylan Fraser, I just made you a moderator. Big Zini, I just made you a moderator. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are unbelievable. Love you guys.
Good work. Scott, is he talking about Alethea? Alethea. Alethea has big potential. I'm just not there right now.
I love them. I absolutely love them. I think when they were at $1, that was one of the best opportunities in the whole sector. We're talking about a company that their goal, and I believe they're going to achieve it, is to be one of the largest medical cannabis companies in the world. They've got the chief of police, Julian Fantino, on their team. The chief of police in Toronto. That's kind of a big dude. It's kind of a connected guy. Kind of got some good friends and rubs elbows with some big politicians all across the country. Yeah, I like him. And I think when you see great companies like that are really, really cheap, you really have to consider that that's just a buying opportunity. Like really just a gift from the stock gods, and nothing other than a buying opportunity. Like I don't think that's an opportunity to panic. I think that's an opportunity to buy. We got to really change the way we think, right, Amanda? Like so many times stocks go down and people panic, but realistically, isn't that not really the time for us to jump in?
I get excited when they go down, like when they're my favorites, because honestly, look at your patterns. Like it's so obvious when they go down, and if you look at your patterns, you can see how long it's going to be until you get your money back. And more. So no, I like when they go down. I do, because then I get stoked for what I'm going to make in the near future. So that's what it's about. I have people who, so many people here are, oh, I want to stay. I want to have this life. I don't want to go back to my Western life. What do you do? And I tell them I'm trading. They're like, whoa, it's so hard, or I'm not mathematical, or not. I'm like, it is so freaking simple. Like it's so simple. I don't know why. I don't know why not everybody's doing it. Next duty
I'm
business.
just reading all you guys' messages. I'm adding some of you guys as moderators. Some of you that I've been watching that are really supportive. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Chris Tofa says, I'm in on Xena and I found out about it because of this channel. I hope you win big,
Awesome.
Chris. I hope you win big,
If you've been
Chris.
watching for the last couple of years, you'll see that a lot of them have been announced on this channel
Yeah.
already.
You know what's funny is I was looking at the best stocks that I brought, and in 2017 the first 5 stocks I bought were, first one I ever bought was Canopy Growth.
Mm-hmm.
Second one I ever bought was Aurora Cannabis. Third one I ever bought was Afria. Fourth one I ever bought was Chronos Group. Fifth one I ever bought was OGI. And the sixth one I ever bought was HMMJ ETF. And I remember I bought all 6. I was looking at my TD account. I was like, oh my God, Rich. If I just keep buying those 6 and I never bought anything else and I just stayed in my freaking lane,
Mm-hmm.
I
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
I don't even know where I'd be right now, man. I'd be in a different level of my life. So it made me realize that, you know what, I just gotta get back to the basics. Like, forget these small ones. Like, forget
That's
them.
what I'm doing as well.
Forget them. Stay in
And I
your
think we
lane.
have at least another 5 years of volatility. We got least.
Stay in your
So,
lane and stick to the best, man. Like, I brought all those picks and I brought them first before everybody else on YouTube started copycatting this channel. And believe me, they
exactly.
copycat. And the reality is, when people try to come in and they try to talk about the picks, it's a little bit hilarious because it's like, man, go to richtvlive.com, look at all the picks. They're all out there for everyone to see. If you want to call me out on my picks, I'm not hiding my picks. My picks are public. Go to richtvlive.com. We've got a brand new website. We've partnered,
Which is
just so,
fabulous, by the way.
yeah, and just so you guys know, we partner with a $30 million firm. That's right. $30 million a year firm, which is growing every day, by the way. And just last week, they spent $22,000 on Google advertising for richtvlive.com.
So good. So good.
$22,000 last week.
But you have everything we need, though. I mean, honestly, you have news in there, you have indexes, everything that you need. Things that you used to just go like searching on bar charts, searching on Google, searching. So, I mean, now it's a one-stop shop. So, as it should be.
So
You
yeah,
gotta just.
we're just getting started, and our partners are now partnering with some huge global banks, and they're telling us that this is just we're just getting started, right? And but they're telling me, Rich, you got to tone it down. Stop talking to the haters and trolls. They're just a
Right.
waste of your time. They're just jealous.
But that's why we have these guys in here to filter that out, right?
Exactly.
It's
So I
all.
want you guys to know that I'm going to make you guys moderators. Your job is just to clean the chat so we can really focus on finding winners and we can have a powerful conversation. Okay. The
Exactly.
other thing they said to me is they don't want any more music. They're like, Rich, get rid of the music. You're not a hip hop artist, Rich.
Yeah, but I like the music. I miss it. Like honestly, Genius like ill kid made us some.
No, hey, listen, Ill Kid's my boy, man. I have mad respect for Ill Kid. I love the music too, but they don't. And they're like, listen, like we're dealing with $1 billion funds, okay? And we're going to be our own fund and we're going to be our own bank and we can't have it. So cut it out. So I was like, damn. I was like, okay. So, and then the other thing they said is you need to be more professional. Stop wearing the hats backwards, put on a suit, be more professional. So I'm listening. We're trying to evolve. And that's part of growing, In life, you got to evolve. So I'm not saying I won't play music. Maybe just not here. I'm going to have other platforms, Instagram, different places where I'll play music. I'll be more entertaining. I'll have more fun with it. Maybe I'll even create other channels just for the
They don't do
entertainment,
that now.
right?
Like even
But
though I'm doing that stuff is still good fun. If they tell me to brush my hair, I'm going to have a problem with that.
no, you look great.
You know, my still just standing in front of the fan, like, hurry up, dry my head. Yeah, no, that can happen. But
You look great. No, you look great. Chris, I like you, bro. I'm going to add you as a moderator, brother. I just added you as a moderator, too. So we've got some new moderators in the room. And you know what, Mark? I'm going to make you a moderator, too. I'm going to make you a moderator
I've been
too.
working hard at keeping everybody.
And you know what, guys?
interested.
I want you guys to treat these chat rooms like it's your own. Like, don't think you're just talking to us. Talk amongst each other. Like, help each other out, give each other picks. Treat the chat room like it's your own. And when somebody comes into the chat room and they're trying to persuade the conversation to go in a negative, dark place, let's just remove them and eliminate them. Let's not even give them a second of our time. Because to be quite honest with you, they're just ants. They're ants and we're giants. And the reason that they're trying to persuade the conversation is because they realize that we're going to the top. And you know, it's unfortunate because they could come along for the ride too, but they just don't want to. They'd rather be in a dark place. And I just want to speak to you guys now. If you're in a dark place, I don't want you to stay there. Why don't you jump on the bandwagon, change the way you think, become a powerful, positive person, start making some real money, and grow yourself. Rich TV Live is not just about me getting ahead. It's about Amanda getting ahead. It's about you guys getting ahead. It's about all of us getting ahead. Honestly, this isn't just about me.
Teamwork. Our community is teamwork. It's not a solo
Yes.
show. It's teamwork. So be part of the team and, just bring something. That's it. But positivity is the name of the game. And that's just how it goes.
You know, it's exciting to be in this sector because it's a very volatile sector. And volatility creates interest. It creates enthusiasm. It creates excitement. It creates wealth. The key right now is for us to get really, really good. 2 years ago when I started, I kind of had the idea of having this be like for entertainment and education purposes. We're kind of evolved now. Like, we're not just for education and entertainment purposes. We're now actually a real financial platform. Like a legitimate financial platform.
We
That
made some money, so we deserve to be legitimate. Like we've worked hard for this.
yeah.
It's really
And the funny part is that website is so much better than it was a week ago when I built it. I have to really thank my partners for building the website. You guys have done a great job. And I have another big piece of news. We are getting into the options business. So Rich TV Live is partnering with one of the largest options traders in the world. He is going to be someone I'm going to be interviewing soon. I'm not going to mention his name. I want it to be a surprise. But he's going to be the biggest person I've ever had in our channel. The biggest partner we've ever had in our platform. He's a multi-deca millionaire. He's very successful. He's worked with the Bank of America and Wall Street for 25 years. He's traded with billions of dollars of Bank of America's money. He trades daily millions of dollars of his own money and does options trading. And now he's going to be training and educating members of the Rich TV Live community to get into the options game. And I've never traded options. I'm not going to lie. So I'm very excited to learn, but I'm going to learn because this guy, like, the revenue potential is ridiculous. Okay. Like, on average, you're making between 150 to 400% returns. Legit.
Who doesn't want that? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I want to learn this because
So-
I don't trade.
Yeah, and I don't trade options either. So I'm going to be learning. And I always said to myself, if I'm going to learn something, I want to learn from the best. Okay? This is a guy that's been on Wall Street. This is a guy that's worked for Bank of America. This is a guy that, I very highly recommended. Okay? I feel blessed to even be able to say he's going to be a part of our community, that our members are going to be able to work with him. And I feel excited to learn myself because I want to learn how to make 150 to 400% returns.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm full in. Okay, cool.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Love to hear that.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about that. So we've got options coming. We've got a brand new website. We really want to focus on becoming better and better and better. Now,
I challenge anybody who's just getting music. Oh,
sorry.
I challenge anybody who just started here to go back and look at videos from like 2-3 years ago, and you see this is like totally grown, like next level. So
yeah, it has. I'm going to show you guys my 10 picks for July 2019. So
bring it.
My number one pick, and I did a video on this, like June 23rd. You can see the top 10 stocks July 23rd. So my number 10 pick for July 2019 is CanTrust. My number 9 pick, which is a gold stock, which is being heavily promoted by National Inflation Association, is Fiore Gold. Fiore, Fiore, Fiore Gold. It's F is the symbol in Canada. FIOGR, I think, is the symbol in America, something like that. Fiore Gold. It's a really highly recommended stock by National Inflation Association. They believe it's going to go to $1 and beyond. I think it's at 46 cents in Canada. I'm not saying you should buy it. Just watch it. Put it on your watch list. Put it on your radar. If you believe in gold, this could be one of the best junior mining gold stocks out there. Okay. Number 8, MasterCard. Love them. We've talked about them. People are getting more and more into debt. Huge company, huge revenue, great growth potential. The chart looks like this. They're my number 8 pick. And I'm going to start giving you guys more bigger picks because I really want us to get to the next level of professionalism where we're not talking about these penny stocks anymore. I want to really have less and less and less penny stocks and more bigger companies because realistically, that's going to really protect our portfolios and give our portfolios some security. Because if you're all in on cannabis stocks, your portfolio is going to be very volatile. And that can be very stressful. But if you've got a Visa, you've got a MasterCard in your portfolio, you've got, a CanTrust, you've got a Canopy Growth, you've got an Aurora Cannabis, you've got an Afria, I think you give yourself a better chance of success. Yeah, you could play around with some small ones, but you've got to have some big ones too, just to really enhance and strengthen your portfolio. It's something that I am realizing myself. You got to, okay, think you're a baseball player. Yeah, pretend you're a baseball player, right? If you're a baseball player and you're up to bat and you try to hit a home run every single swing, are you really going to be successful?
No.
Chances are you're not going to be successful. Sometimes you got to hit a single. Sometimes you got to hit a double. Sometimes you got to hit a triple. Sometimes you got to take a walk. If you're always swinging for the fences on every single swing, your batting average is going to be very, very low. This is kind of like the stock market. When you're always swinging for the fences, looking for that home run, you're not going to do very well. You won't. So I think it's important to have some diversity, and that's what you're going to see with our picks moving forward. Number 7, my number 7 pick for July 2019 is Visa. I mentioned it earlier. I love Visa. I have Visas. I have MasterCards. And for me, it's I'd rather buy a stock of something I use. And I know everybody else uses because chances are those stocks are going to keep going up. So yeah, Visa is my number 7 pick. They're 007. MasterCard is my number 8 pick. 8 is my lucky number. I love MasterCard. Fiore Gold is my number 9. CanTrust is my number 10. And it's funny, we've talked about 3 of these picks in the chat already today. So the group is definitely on the same page here. Number 6, this is a smaller one, but I don't think they're going to be small for long. Radiant Technologies.
Oh, agreed. Like Radiant a lot.
Okay, there's a reason for this. Canopy Growth just finished building their facility in Edmonton, Aurora Sky. It's a state-of-the-art facility. Radiant Technologies is working in the facility with Canopy Growth. They are their extraction partner.
Yeah.
They have come out and said that they are going to grow their extraction business exponentially with Radiant Technologies internationally. I believe Radiant Technologies revenue explodes. I think it goes up and up and up every quarter from now on. And I think the future is extremely bright for Radiant Technologies. And they're one of my most interesting plays to position myself in. I probably will buy at least 10,000 shares and just hold because I see a day that they trade at least at $2 or $3. At least at $2 or $3. And they're under $1 right now. And they have traded over $2 before. And I've made money on this before. When it ran from $1 to $2, I made some really good money on Radiant Technologies. It came all the way down because they really haven't generated much revenue because they were waiting for the plant to be done. The plant is now done. Aurora Cannabis did a conference call and said that they are going to really focus on ramping up extraction with Radiant Technologies.
Nice. And as of October 17th, the need for these facilities are going to be next level. So,
I think Radiant's going to be so good for us. So I'm not saying you buy it. I'm not saying that. I'm not. That's not why I give you guys these picks. I don't tell you what to buy. I don't tell you what to sell. I am just saying it is a company to watch because, in my opinion, they've got enormous upside. In number 5, Afria. In my opinion, Afria is a company that we've seen at $20 multiple times, and they're trading at $9 right now. So they've been beat up so much. They've had short attacks. They've had just so much negative press, and they've recovered from it. And people kind of have
company.
yeah, and people have kind of forgotten about all the negative press now. And I believe that they're still at a really good price. And if you could pick it up like under $9 and get in at like 8 something, or even if you can get in at 9, I really see a day that we see Afria go back to $15, $20. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it on this next resurrection and this next explosion leading into edibles legalization. What do you think about that? Do you agree with me?
I totally agree. Afria always explodes, and Aurora always explodes, and Canopy always explodes on every resurrection. And like Aurora, we often see that go up to $15, $16 on a resurrection, and Afria 2021. So I'm with you 100%. 100%.
Very good. I'm glad that you like that. My number 4 pick is Aurora Cannabis. Before all the other YouTubers in the world started copying me and talking about Aurora Cannabis, I was the first YouTuber ever to talk about Aurora Cannabis, and I brought them actually under $2. They've been as high as 15, which is about 700% returns for members. Now they're trading at about $10. They've got $1 billion partner now. They are getting bigger and better every day. They've got like 40 global partners. They've got some huge partners like Canamed, MedRelief. They are just an absolute giant. The only reason why I believe they are not trading higher is because they have 1 billion shares. However, that billion shares was strategic in acquiring some of the biggest and the best companies out there so that they become a vertically integrated cannabis giant. Okay? What do you think about Aurora?
I love Aurora. I love Aurora. And they're so focused on growing globally. They're in so many countries, I think more than any of our other companies. And they're always expanding. So they're innovative, they're smart business people, and they've made me a lot of money over the last couple of years, and I will never leave them. Like I'm not dating Aurora, I'm married to Aurora.
You know, it's funny. I've never lost on Aurora.
Yeah.
Never. I've never lost on Aurora. Aurora is the most resilient stock out there.
Yeah.
If you've lost on Aurora, you probably bought at a 52-week high. If you buy them at 52-week lows, and if you buy them on dips, they are extremely resilient. Now, if they go up and you don't sell and then they come back down, you got to really ask yourself, how are you trading? Because if you watch Aurora, it goes up and it always comes down. This is one of the issues with Aurora. It doesn't just keep going up like some of these stocks. It goes up and then it comes down. Why do you think that is? And I just mentioned it.
Well, I do think, my opinion, I think it's because they haven't maximized their U.S. plays either.
But it's too many shares. So when you have 1 billion shares out there, it's an overhang. They got this massive overhang on top of them. So every time they go up, everybody that's got shares is selling, right?
Yeah,
So that's the real issue with Aurora, in my opinion, is the overhang. But with $1 billion partner now, I really see them having a great future. I'm not suggesting you buy them at $10. If you could pick them up at 9 or even lower, that's gold. I just see Aurora going higher on this run. I see them going to 15, $20. I don't think they stay there. I think they come back down and they find a floor. But if you look at Aurora, they've kind of been finding a floor between $9 and $10, which is pretty high considering
I
last.
used to buy it between $6 and $8. Used to
That's
be
right.
my window, but I've had to increase that a bit because I'm with you on this. Like, I think all our stocks are slowly going to have a new resistance on every run. So, I mean, you have to remember patterns change, and you could be like me and I'm not over it yet, obviously, but as I'll tell you again, I missed my till right entry because they are, if you look at a 5 year chart on most of these stocks, the resistance is always going up and it's going to keep, I think, for the next, like I say, 5 years at least. So we gotta check that a little bit closer. So Aurora, yeah, I think nine, between 8 and 9 is a fair entry right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Aurora is, obviously behind Canopy Growth, Aurora is number 2 right now in quarterly sales in the entire sector. So you have to consider Aurora. You got to look at Aurora. The only reason why I don't talk about them much anymore is because everybody else does. So I kind of find that boring, and I'm almost tired of hearing other people talk about it. It's
But
almost
they're trying to true and they are a moneymaker. So I sell when the profits are huge. Not all of it because I have a beautiful average. I've been in it for since close to the beginning. So I never sell them all. But I do sell some profits and I jump back in on the dips. So yeah, my Aurora money always stays Aurora money. I just try and increase my share count.
I think that Aurora is going to be one of the biggest and the best companies in this entire sector. And I don't think anybody can really argue that. Now, another company that is my number 3 pick for July 2019, and this is probably a new one for a lot of you. It's actually another pick from National Inflation Association. It has a really tight float. It is a protein food company which is big right now. When you look at Beyond Meat, this Beyond Meat Crave, there's all these companies coming out right now that are like, they're not meat but they're meat.
Yeah.
This is a protein food company called Lifeway Foods. They're currently trading at $3.64,
Yeah, and
and
they're working hard at competing with Beyond Meat, who is, I mean, beyond cash. So I think that's a good pick.
yes, and I think Lifeway Foods is one of the sleeping giants that can make us a lot of money. And National Inflation Association believes they could go to $10. They're at $3.64. They got a really tight float. Yeah, they got a really tight float, and they already have run up from $2.20 to as high as over $4 since National Inflation Association started covering them. Since they went above $4, they've retracted a little bit to 364. I truly believe Lifeway Foods has got a future, and I think this company goes higher. I believe National Inflation Association said that they were a top 7 stock in the Nasdaq in the last month.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's fabulous. Okay.
So look at
I'm
their
not
chart.
in it.
Look at their chart.
Okay.
They were up as high as 100%. So in the last month alone, and it's a stock nobody knows. So we really pride ourselves in being the first to bring you guys picks, not the 100th, and then just keep banging that pick in your face like a lot of other YouTubers do. We want to be the first. We want to be consistent. We want to keep talking about stocks, obviously like Aurora along the way, but I'm not going to bang it in your face a million times like other people do. I want to bring you guys new picks, and I want to talk about old picks, and have a little combination of new picks, and I want to have some big board stocks. This is a NASDAQ stock. It's a NASDAQ stock. And I want to have a combination of some small ones. So we talked about Fiore Gold, smaller stock, under $1. We talked about Radiant Technology, smaller stock, under $1. Other than that, there's nothing in my list under $1. We've talked about MasterCard, $270 stock. We've talked about Visa, $100+ stock. So we've got a good balance here so far. The next stock, which I talked about, which I've been talking about, which I've been beating the drum about, which I talk about every day, which people want to test me on, is Zenabis. My number 2 pick for July 2019. And remember, I did this list on June 23rd when it was trading at $1.50. It's now at $1.88. It's already gone up since my video. I believe it goes up higher in July. I think it goes up a lot higher. I agree with GMP Securities in their buy target, in their buy rating. They have a buy rating on bar chart. They got a buy rating on richtvlive.com. All the indicators are saying buy. They've got the Langley license, which hasn't even been announced yet, which is going to happen literally any day. There's a lot of catalysts coming for Zenabis as far as I'm concerned. I see it going higher. That's why Zenabis, ZBISF in America, ZENA in Canada is my number 2 pick in July 2019. Love to know what you guys think. I absolutely love Zenabis. What do you think?
Yes.
Number 2 pick. Is that too high for them? What do you think?
No, no, no. I think they're a moneymaker. I think that's a fabulous number one. I never rated. I haven't rated my list on which one I love the most right now, but I'm pretty happy with my share count in Zenabis, and I'm really happy I didn't sell it on Friday. So yeah, I'm stoked to see what July brings for it. Should be a good summer. Yeah.
And my number 1 pick for July 2019 is GBTC.
Okay.
Global Bitcoin Grayscale Trust. They are right now Bitcoin's hot, okay? And when I dropped this pick, they're at like $13. They went as high as 17. So they're already up like almost 40% since I dropped my video. Now, obviously, this is all based on Bitcoin, okay, guys? So be careful. Don't just go and buy this pick because I said it. Bitcoin could go down, guys. They've been on a crazy run. If Bitcoin goes down, GBTC will go down. If Bitcoin goes up, GBTC will go up. If Bitcoin goes to 20,000, I say GBTC goes between $20 to $30. Some people are predicting that Bitcoin will hit 20,000. So this prediction was based kind of on Bitcoin. I don't know if Bitcoin's going to go to 20,000. Hype alone might take it there. But if it does, GBTC will continue to go up. This is why I have them as my number 1 pick in July 2019. Cryptocurrency is hot. Bitcoin is hot. I believe GBTC has a great future. I think that Bitcoin obviously has a great future. I believe that cryptocurrency has a future. And I kind of look at cryptocurrency and cannabis stocks almost like one and the same. Both highly volatile, both have crazy swings. But if you're really, really good at buying the bottoms, you can make a killing. Killing. Because they go low and then they go very high. And then they go low and then they go very high. And then they just rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. And I've seen this trend, and I think we're getting better at learning this trend. And I think the trend is your friend. And if you want to really master these markets, I think we have to go with the trend as opposed to going against the trend.
Agreed. Agreed. That's how we make our money. And I mean, this is the style that I've been trading for a couple of years, and I've done well. I left my normal job. I had a great job, by the way. I left it comfortably. Everyone has a hard time understanding. But honestly, my income is basically triple what I made in my good job, and I have very minimal stress and I love life. All because of trading and following these patterns. It's really freaking simple.
Wow, good for you, Amanda. I'm super happy for you.
Story.
Amanda from Indonesia, living the dream. She is a Canadian girl from Vancouver, sold all her assets, moved to Indonesia to live the dream lifestyle. I'm super proud of you. I'm happy for you. I wish you all the best of success. I hope it continues. Let's just quickly, before we leave, read the rest of these messages because the members are working hard. Let's just read these last messages before we go, and then the rest of you guys can go and enjoy your weekend. And hopefully we'll have a great trading week next week. Have an amazing July and beyond. But remember, what goes up will go down. So what I predict is we're going to have a resurrection, and then it's going to be big. And I think it's already started. And I think it continues all the way until October. And then very close, like last year, to where edibles legalization legalizes, which will be October 17, 2019. I think at that point in time, we could see another collapse. So be careful. Don't think it's going to last forever. Just like we are seeing bottoms now, and we've seen highs in January, we will see highs again, and then we'll see bottoms again. Do you agree with me there?
Yeah. I do, only because of the run up to legalization. So we had a beautiful run up, and then the day legalization happened, everything disappeared. There was like the biggest drop. It was like, do you remember that game in Price is Right where the guy climbs ladder and he just falls off? I think if you weren't watching closely, you fell off.
Yes.
So I'm prepared for that this year to happen again. So I'm all in for the run up starting now.
Amazing. Now take a look at this. Leo the landscaper. Yo, Leo, how you doing, man? I'm going to make you a moderator, man, because I respect you, Leo. Leo the landscaper says, Labs buys, are you ready for this? I didn't even, 9,000 kilos of weed.
5,000, 9,000 kilos of weed?
Labs bought 9,000 kilos of weed.
I really have to get going on their research. Like, I really need to dig into what they're doing because that's mind-blowing.
And Leo the landscaper says Labs will be the king of 2019. Mark my words. And Leo was telling me about Labs. Okay, I brought Labs to our community about $1.40. I was buying it and selling it, $2, $3, you know, and then I kind of got out of it, started trading other stuff, which was a huge mistake. And then Leo kept saying to me, Rich, it's gonna go higher. It's gonna go higher. It went to $2, $3, $4. He's like, Rich, it's gonna go higher. $5. Rich, it's gonna go higher. $6. Rich, it's gonna go higher. $8. I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, legends.
Then it raised like, I think it was 60 million, 65 million and went down, right? So now, what do you think they're using that money for? They just used it to buy 9,000 kilos of weed.
Right. And they're going to do crazy things with it, obviously. I need to look into what they're researching as well, because it sounds...
Wow, look at this. Look at this. Are you ready for this? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Leo's a beast. Leo bought Labs at 95 cents, and it went as high as $7.30.
Holy crap.
Leo made a killing.
So Leo's in charge of our next yacht party then,
Yes.
is what I understand.
Yes.
Legend.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Leo. Congrats. That's fabulous. It's so nice to see you.
More than answers. TRST shit. You know it's can't trust. Don't forget about Africa. We brought you in the...
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I would love to answer all your messages, but I gotta run. My phone's ringing. I gotta run. Amanda from Indonesia, thank you again for this great show. Let's do it again soon. Let's try to do this every week.
So,
Love having you on the show.
It's a good time.
Yes, and now's the time for us to really position ourselves, guys. So thank you for all of you being here. Thank you guys for all your likes. If you haven't hit the like button, smash the like button. If you haven't commented on the video, please comment on the video. Share the video everywhere. If I win, if Amanda wins, and if you win at home, we all win. So let's just win. And even for the haters and the trolls that are watching, I want you guys to win. I got no hate for any of you guys, okay? Don't hate me. Don't hate me, okay? Participate with me. Don't hate me, participate with me, okay? Don't hate me, participate with me. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for all your time. Have a great weekend. Everybody in Canada, happy Canada Day. Wish you guys all the best. Spend time with your loved ones, your friends, your family, or even spend some time alone if that's what makes you happy. Have a great day. And once again, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon.
Cheers.